The day Earth changed forever started like any other. The International Space Station's sensors picked up the first anomaly at 3:47 a.m. UTC. What began as a small blip on their screens soon multiplied into thousands of signals, each larger than the last. Commander John White rubbed his tired eyes, double-checking the readings. "Mission Control, are you seeing this?" he asked, his voice steady despite the growing unease in his chest. The response from Houston came after an unusually long pause. "Affirmative, Commander. All global observatories are reporting similar data. Stand by for further instructions." Within hours, every major observatory and space monitoring station on Earth confirmed the same thing. A massive fleet of unknown vessels had entered the solar system, just beyond Mars' orbit. The ships varied in size, from small craft no bigger than Earth's satellites to enormous vessels that dwarfed anything humans had ever built. As news spread across the globe, governments scrambled to respond. The United Nations Security Council called an emergency session, while military forces worldwide were placed on high alert. Television broadcasts were interrupted, social media exploded with speculation, and people everywhere looked to the sky with a mixture of fear and wonder. At the Pentagon, General Robert Thompson stood before a room full of military and civilian leaders. "Ladies and gentlemen, what we're looking at is undeniably first contact with an advanced alien civilization. Their technology appears to be centuries ahead of ours." The room erupted in discussions until a young lieutenant burst through the doors. "Sir, they're broadcasting a message. It's being received by every major communication device on Earth." The message appeared on screens worldwide, translated simultaneously into all major languages. The aliens called themselves the Imperial Fleet of the Galactic Empire, a vast civilization spanning thousands of star systems. Their message was simple and direct. "People of Earth, your planet now falls under Imperial jurisdiction. Submit to our authority, and you will be granted the privilege of joining our grand empire. Resist and face annihilation. You have 24 hours to respond." In the chaos that followed, world leaders gathered in New York. The UN building buzzed with activity as representatives from every nation arrived for what would become the most important meeting in human history. President Helen Adams of the United States addressed the assembly first. "We face a choice that will determine the fate of our species. But let me be clear, Earth belongs to its people. We will not bow to threats, no matter how advanced our opponents may be." Other leaders voiced similar sentiments. Despite their differences, nations that had been enemies for generations found themselves united against a common threat. For the first time in history, humanity spoke with one voice. As the deadline approached, scientists and military experts worked tirelessly to analyze the alien fleet. Dr. Mark Wilson, leading Earth's top physicists, made a startling discovery. The energy readings from their ships, he explained to the Emergency Council, suggest they use a form of faster-than-light travel we theorized but never achieved. However, their weapons, while advanced, operate on principles we understand. They're not gods. They can be fought. With just 1 hour remaining, Earth's unified response was broadcast to the Imperial fleet. The message was delivered by Ambassador David Lee, chosen for his calm demeanor and clear-speaking voice. "To the Galactic Empire, we, the people of Earth, have received your message. For thousands of years, we have dreamed of meeting other civilizations among the stars. We hoped this meeting would lead to friendship and mutual understanding. Instead, you offer us subjugation. Our answer is no. Earth is our home. We will defend it. We choose to remain free." As the message was sent, military bases worldwide activated their defenses. Nuclear submarines slipped silently through the oceans, fighter jets stood ready on aircraft carriers, and newly developed experimental weapons were prepared for deployment. The gathered leaders watched their screens as the deadline passed. For several long minutes, nothing happened. Then multiple small craft detached from the main fleet and began moving toward Earth. The first shots in humanity's greatest war were about to be fired. Unknown to both sides, this conflict would reveal something about humans that the Empire never expected, something that would shake the foundations of their power across the galaxy. The Imperial scouts approached, their ships gleaming in the sunlight. Earth held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The Imperial scouts entered Earth's atmosphere with remarkable precision. Their ships, sleek and silver, moved with an elegance that made Earth's most advanced aircraft look primitive in comparison. Military bases worldwide tracked their movements, but no one fired. These first moments would be crucial. Dr. Brian Miller watched from his laboratory deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. His team had been studying unusual energy patterns in human brain activity when the aliens arrived. Now, as the scouts passed overhead, their instruments went haywire. "Look at these readings," he called to his assistant, Pete Brown. "The closer those ships get, the stronger these neural patterns become. It's like our brains are reacting to their presence." The Imperial scouts spread across the globe, scanning major cities and military installations. Their ships emitted strange pulses of energy that penetrated deep into the Earth's crust. They seemed particularly interested in population centers. At Area 51, now serving as the central command for Earth's defensive operations, General Thompson received reports from around the world. "Sir," Lieutenant Jack Parker said, "the aliens appear to be conducting some sort of survey. They're paying special attention to our power plants and communications infrastructure." But something unexpected was happening. Wherever the scout ships passed, people reported headaches, strange dreams, and an inexplicable sense of awareness. In some cases, individuals claimed they could sense the aliens' presence before seeing their ships. In downtown Tokyo, a street vendor named Mike Tanaka suddenly clutched his head as a scout ship passed overhead. For a brief moment, he could swear he heard voices, alien voices, discussing Earth's defenses. The experience left him shaken but alert. Similar reports flooded in from across the globe. Dr. Miller's team worked frantically to understand what was happening. These patterns, he explained to military officials via video conference, they're not random. The human brain is responding to the Imperial technology in ways that shouldn't be possible. Aboard the lead scout ship, Imperial Commander Rex studied the data with growing concern. "These humans," he communicated to the main fleet, "their neural patterns are unlike anything in our database. They show signs of latent quantum entanglement capabilities." The Empire had encountered many species during its expansion, but humans were different. Their brains showed potential for abilities the Empire had only theorized about. It was both fascinating and alarming. Back on Earth, the first direct confrontation occurred over the Australian outback. A scout ship ventured too close to a military base, and warning shots were fired. What happened next stunned both sides. The base commander, William Cooper, felt a sudden surge of energy coursed through his body. As the scout ship prepared to retaliate, Cooper somehow sensed its intentions. Without understanding how, he projected a thought so powerful it disrupted the ship's weapon systems. The incident lasted only seconds, but it confirmed the Empire's fears. Humans possessed an innate ability to interact with quantum fields, the very foundation of Imperial technology. This ability, while largely dormant, could potentially make them formidable opponents. Dr. Miller's team captured the entire event on their instruments. The energy signature from Commander Cooper's brain exactly matched the alien ship's quantum field, he reported. "It's as if humans evolved to naturally interface with advanced technology." The Imperial scouts retreated to their fleet, but not before collecting vast amounts of data about Earth's inhabitants. Their report to the Empire's high command was clear. Humans were not the primitive species they appeared to be. In the Imperial command ship, Admiral Vax reviewed the findings with growing concern. "These humans," he noted in his log, "possess capabilities we cannot fully understand. Their potential threatens everything we've built. They must be eliminated before they learn to harness these abilities." But the Empire's initial show of force had already triggered something in humanity's collective consciousness. Across the globe, more people began experiencing unusual sensations. Some could sense the thoughts of others, while others discovered they could influence electronic devices with their minds. Dr. Miller worked through the night, analyzing data and preparing his report for Earth's leaders. "We're witnessing an awakening," he wrote. "The Empire's presence has somehow activated dormant abilities in our species. We're evolving, and they know it. That's why they're afraid." As Earth prepared for the coming conflict, one thing became clear. The Empire's assessment of humanity had revealed not their weakness, but their greatest strength. The question was no longer if humans could fight back, but how quickly they could master their newfound abilities. The command center beneath the Pentagon hummed with tension as Earth's military leaders gathered around Dr. Miller's presentation. His discovery about humanity's quantum abilities had changed everything. On the massive screens behind him, brain scan images showed increasing neural activity across the global population. "What you're seeing," Dr. Miller explained, pointing to the pulsing patterns, "is humanity's collective awakening. The Empire's presence has triggered something dormant in our DNA. We're not just fighting them. We're evolving because of them." In the 3 days since the Scouts' departure, incidents of unexplained phenomena had increased exponentially. The most dramatic occurred at Fort Brandon, where Private Andy Russell demonstrated the full potential of these emerging abilities. Private Russell had been on routine patrol when an Imperial probe attempted to infiltrate the base. Without training, without warning, he reached out with his mind and crushed the alien device. Surveillance footage showed him standing perfectly still, eyes closed, as the probe crumpled like a tin can in an invisible grip. "I just knew I could do it," Russell explained later, still shaking from the experience. "It was like finding a muscle you never knew you had." Dr. Miller's team quickly developed a testing protocol to identify others with similar capabilities. They discovered that roughly 1 in every 1,000 humans showed immediate potential, with the number growing daily. At the United Nations, Ambassador Lee prepared Earth's response to the Empire. The message had to be clear, had to demonstrate humanity's resolve without revealing the full extent of their emerging powers. But before Earth could send its warning, the Empire made another move. A single ship, larger than the previous Scouts, took up position above New York City. Its message echoed through every electronic device on the planet. "Your species has been evaluated and found wanting. Submit now or face immediate termination." The ship's weapons powered up, a clear demonstration of intent. But they had made a crucial mistake. In Washington Square Park, Lisa Grant, a college student who had just discovered her abilities, felt the ship's hostile intentions. Acting on instinct, she reached out with her mind, connecting with others like her across the city. Together, they created a quantum shield that the Empire had never encountered before. When the ship fired, its energy beam dissipated harmlessly against the invisible barrier. The aliens' confusion was palpable, transmitted unintentionally through the quantum field that now connected them with humanity. Ambassador Lee seized the moment. Standing before the UN Assembly, he delivered humanity's response, broadcast directly into the minds of every Imperial commander. "You came to our world uninvited. You threatened our people. You thought us weak. That was your first mistake. This is our only warning. Leave Earth's space immediately, or witness powers you cannot comprehend." To demonstrate their point, the assembled quantum-sensitive humans across New York City acted in concert. They didn't just disable the Imperial ship. They completely shut down its systems, letting it hang powerless in the sky for 30 seconds before allowing it to restart. The ship retreated immediately, but Earth wasn't finished. Dr. Miller had discovered they could project thoughts across vast distances through the same quantum channels the Empire used for communication. Earth's message continued, reaching every Imperial vessel. "We are humanity. We have lived in peace, but we will fight in war. Your presence has awakened something within us. Leave now, and we will let you go. Stay, and you will witness our full potential." To emphasize their point, quantum-sensitive individuals worldwide focused their energy on the Imperial fleet. For a brief moment, Every ship's systems flickered, a clear demonstration that humanity could reach them even at that distance. The Empire's response came swiftly. "This changes nothing. You have only hastened your destruction." General Thompson turned to Dr. Miller as the message faded. "How long until we can train more people to use these abilities?" "The ability is spreading naturally," Miller replied. "Every hour, more people are discovering they can do things they never thought possible. The Empire didn't just wake up a few of us. They triggered a species-wide evolution. As Earth prepared for the coming battle, the quantum network connecting humanity grew stronger. They could feel the Empire's fear, their confusion, and their determination to crush this unexpected threat. The first warning had been delivered. The next move would be the Empire's, and Earth would be ready. The Imperial fleet darkened Earth's skies 3 days after humanity's warning. 10,000 ships, their hulls gleaming with malevolent purpose, moved into attack formation. The invasion had begun. Admiral Vax commanded from his flagship, confident in the Empire's overwhelming firepower. "Begin the bombardment," he ordered. "Show these primitives the price of defiance." The first wave of energy weapons lit up the atmosphere, targeting military installations worldwide. But Earth was ready. In preparation centers across the globe, trained quantum sensitives linked minds, creating protective barriers that turned the deadly beams aside. At the North American Defense Hub, Private Russell led a team of 50 newly discovered quantum adepts. "Steady," he called out as Imperial fire rained down. "Feel the energy. Redirect it, don't just block it." The resulting shield not only stopped the attack but reflected it back, destroying 3 Imperial cruisers. Earth's conventional forces struck back hard. Fighter jets, enhanced with quantum resonance technology developed by Dr. Miller's team, engaged the alien ships in dogfights that defied physics. Pilots found they could anticipate enemy movements seconds before they happened, their minds partially linked to their aircraft through the quantum field. Colonel Tim Walker, leading the European air defense, swooped through impossible angles in his F-35. "They're not invincible," his voice crackled over the comm. "Their technology depends on the same quantum field we can now access. Hit them there, and they fall like any other ship." The Empire had never faced such resistance. Their weapons, designed to overcome physical defenses, proved less effective against humanity's hybrid approach of technology and mental power. Each destroyed Imperial ship strengthened the quantum network connecting Earth's defenders. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Miller monitored the battle through both conventional sensors and the quantum field. "Their ships are powerful," he reported to command, "but they rely entirely on technology. We're using something they can't copy or counter: human consciousness itself." The tide turned dramatically over the Indian Ocean. An Imperial dreadnought, large enough to cover Mumbai, prepared to launch a devastating attack. But Maria Rodriguez, a former yoga instructor who had discovered extraordinary quantum abilities, coordinated a counterstrike. She led 300 quantum sensitives in a synchronized mental assault that unraveled the ship's quantum core. The dreadnought didn't just fall. It phased partially out of reality, its crew trapped between dimensions. The sight of their most powerful ship defeated by pure mental force sent shockwaves through the Imperial fleet. Admiral Vax watched in growing horror as his carefully planned assault crumbled. "Impossible," he muttered, watching another squadron fall to Earth's defenders. "Their power grows with each passing hour." He was right. Every human on Earth felt the change now. Even those without strong quantum abilities could sense the collective consciousness strengthening. Children woke up able to communicate telepathically. Adults found themselves understanding alien technology intuitively. The Empire launched a desperate strike at Earth's quantum training centers, hoping to cut off this evolution at its source. They targeted Dr. Miller's facility with their remaining dreadnoughts. The attack should have vaporized the mountain. Instead, the combined mental force of Earth's defenders created something unprecedented: a quantum singularity that swallowed the attack whole. The Imperial ships found themselves firing into a void of their own creation, their energy weapons feeding the very defense they sought to break. As the battle entered its sixth hour, Earth's quantum network had grown strong enough to affect the Imperial fleet's core systems. Ships began shutting down, their quantum drives disrupted by humanity's collective will. Admiral Vax faced a choice: continue the fight and risk losing his entire fleet, or retreat and face the Empire's wrath. Looking at his tactical display, watching more ships go dark, he made his decision. All forces, emergency withdrawal, he commanded. Full quantum retreat. The Empire's first major defeat was witnessed by billions. As the alien ships fled Earth's orbit, humanity realized they had not just survived, they had discovered their true potential. In the aftermath, Dr. Miller addressed the UN Security Council. Today was just the beginning. The Empire will return, but when they do, they'll face a humanity they never imagined possible. We're not just learning to use our abilities, we're becoming something new. The Empire had struck with all its might, and Earth had emerged stronger. But everyone knew this was only the first battle in a much larger war. News of Earth's victory spread through the Empire's territories like wildfire. The quantum network that humans had created reached far beyond their solar system, touching the minds of countless enslaved species across the galaxy. On the mining world of Proxima b, slave workers lifted their heads from the crystal mines, feeling Earth's triumph echo through their consciousness. The guards noticed something different in their eyes, a spark of hope, of defiance. "Did you feel it?" whispered Dan Martin to his fellow quantum-sensitive soldiers during a briefing at the Pentagon. "When we fought them off, thousands of alien minds reached out to us. They've been waiting for someone to stand up to the Empire." Earth's leaders debated their next move. They could wait for the Empire to return, or they could take the fight to them. The decision was made when the first refugees arrived, small ships carrying aliens who had broken free from Imperial control, drawn to Earth by the quantum signal of resistance. Among them was Commander Brix, a former Imperial officer whose species had been among the first conquered by the Empire. "Your victory showed us something crucial," he explained to the UN Council. "The Empire's power isn't absolute. Their quantum technology can be turned against them." Dr. Miller worked with the alien refugees, discovering that humans weren't unique in their quantum abilities. They were just the first to awaken them naturally. "Every species has the potential," he reported. "The Empire deliberately suppresses these abilities in the populations they conquer." Earth became a beacon of rebellion. Military leaders like General Thompson coordinated with former Imperial slaves to identify key targets across the galaxy. The plan was ambitious: simultaneous uprisings on multiple worlds, supported by Earth's growing quantum network. The first strike came at the Imperial shipyards orbiting Sirius. Kate Wilson, leading a team of quantum sensitives, worked with local resistance fighters to disable the facility's defenses. They didn't just defeat the Imperial forces, they converted them. The guards' minds were locked down by Imperial technology. Kate explained later, "We didn't just fight them, we freed them. Now they're helping others break free too." The revolution spread faster than anyone expected. Species that had been enemies under Imperial rule found common cause. Earth's quantum network became a galaxy-wide communication system, coordinating resistance efforts across thousands of light years. On the Imperial capital world, panic spread through the ruling class. Their carefully maintained order was unraveling. Reports came in of entire fleets refusing orders, of planetary governors declaring independence, of slave populations suddenly developing abilities similar to humans. Back on Earth, Dr. Miller made another breakthrough. The Empire's entire control system is based on suppressing quantum consciousness, he announced to the War Council. "Every time we free a planet, every time we help another species awaken, we weaken their entire power structure." The Empire attempted to maintain control through brutal force. They destroyed any world that showed signs of rebellion. But each act of destruction only strengthened the resistance. The quantum network carried the memories of these atrocities, turning them into rallying cries for revolution. Tom Baker, now leading Earth's first deep space quantum strike team, coordinated with alien resistance fighters to systematically dismantle Imperial control systems. "We're not just fighting ships and soldiers," he told his crew. "We're fighting an idea. The idea that any species has the right to dominate another." The revolution reached a turning point at the Battle of Antares. The Empire committed a third of its remaining fleet to crush the rebellion there. Instead, human quantum sensitives, working with awakened aliens, turned the Imperial ship's quantum cores into beacons of liberation. "Their own technology is rejecting them," Dr. Miller observed. "It's like the universe itself is choosing sides." As the revolution entered its third month, the Empire's grip on the galaxy was failing. More ships arrived at Earth daily, not as enemies, but as allies seeking to learn, to awaken, to join the growing network of free worlds. In the ruins of an Imperial command center, resistance fighters found a telling message. "We didn't just underestimate Earth. We showed them, and everyone else, that we could be beaten. The old order is dying." The galaxy was changing. The revolution born on Earth had become something greater than anyone had imagined. But the Empire wasn't finished yet. They were preparing one final desperate gambit to maintain their power. 3 months into the revolution, Earth's orbital platforms buzzed with activity as ships from across the galaxy gathered for an unprecedented meeting. Representatives from over 1,000 liberated worlds came to forge a new future, one built on cooperation rather than conquest. The Grand Assembly Hall, hastily constructed in Earth's orbit, hosted the first Galactic Coalition meeting. Ambassador Lee stood before the diverse gathering of species, some humanoid, others completely alien, yet all connected through the quantum network that had grown far beyond its terrestrial origins. Today, Lee addressed the assembly. "We build something the Empire never could. A true alliance of free worlds." Dr. Miller's team had been working around the clock with alien scientists, combining their knowledge. In a laboratory filled with hybrid technology, he demonstrated their latest breakthrough to General Thompson. "Look at this," Miller said, activating a device that merged human quantum abilities with advanced alien engineering. "What took us months to develop naturally, we can now teach others in weeks." The Empire's greatest weapon was keeping us all isolated. Together, we're unstoppable. The first test of the alliance came sooner than expected. Imperial loyalists, desperate to maintain their power, launched simultaneous attacks on 3 newly freed worlds. They expected to find weak, disorganized resistance. Instead, they met a coordinated defense that spanned the galaxy. Captain John Reed led Earth's contribution to the defense. His ship, the Unity, represented the best of what the Alliance could achieve. Human quantum sensitives worked alongside alien technicians, their combined abilities making the vessel more powerful than any Imperial warship. "They still think in terms of traditional warfare," Reed observed as his crew effortlessly repelled the Imperial assault. "They haven't realized that we've changed the rules of reality itself." The Alliance grew stronger with each victory. Species that had been bitter enemies under Imperial rule discovered they had more in common than they thought. The quantum network didn't just connect minds, it fostered understanding. In what was once the Empire's strongest fortress, now a center for Alliance research, Lucy Parker worked with a team of former Imperial scientists who had defected. Their technology was always meant to unite, not divide, she explained during a briefing. They just used it wrong. The Alliance's greatest achievement wasn't military, it was cultural. Knowledge and abilities that the Empire had hoarded for millennia became freely available. Worlds that had been stripped of resources received help to rebuild. Former slave species rediscovered their ancient heritage. But the Empire wasn't done. Intelligence reports suggested they were gathering their remaining forces for one massive strike. They had abandoned their outlying territories, concentrating their power in their core systems. Tom Baker, now Admiral of the Alliance fleet, prepared for the coming battle. "They're scared," he told his officers, "not just of losing power, but of what we represent. Every day, more of their own people join us." The Alliance Council debated their response. Some wanted to strike first, eliminate the Imperial threat once and for all. Others advocated patience, letting the Empire's support continue to crumble. The decision was made for them when Imperial agents attempted to sabotage Earth's quantum network. The attack failed, but it revealed the Empire's desperation and their weakness. They don't understand what they're fighting anymore, Dr. Miller reported to the Council. This isn't about weapons or territory. It's about evolution, the natural progression of consciousness across the galaxy. The Alliance's response was swift and coordinated. Fleets of hybrid ships, crews linked through the quantum network, moved into position around Imperial space. But their message wasn't one of destruction. Surrender, the Alliance broadcast on all frequencies, and join us in building something greater than empire. Some Imperial worlds immediately defected. Others prepared for war. The Empire's remaining leadership, entrenched in their capital system, responded with characteristic arrogance. We would rather die than see our order destroyed. The stage was set for the final confrontation. The Alliance had grown from Earth's resistance into a force that represented the galaxy's future. But the Empire, though wounded, remained dangerous, perhaps most dangerous now that they had nothing left to lose. As Alliance forces prepared for battle, the quantum network hummed with determination. The next few days would determine not just who controlled the galaxy, but what kind of galaxy it would become. The Imperial capital system blazed with the light of 1,000 suns as the final battle began. The Empire had gathered every remaining ship, every weapon, and every soldier loyal to their dying regime for one last desperate stand. Admiral Tom Baker stood on the bridge of the Alliance flagship Unity, watching as the combined fleet of free worlds moved into position. Through the quantum network, he could feel the resolve of countless beings, human and alien alike, all united in purpose. They've activated something in their core worlds. Dr. Miller's voice came through the quantum link. Energy readings are off the charts. Whatever they're planning, it's bigger than anything we've seen before. The Empire's last gambit revealed itself in a blinding flash. They had weaponized their quantum cores, creating a cascade effect that threatened to tear reality itself apart. If they couldn't rule the galaxy, they would break it. All ships, hold position, Baker commanded. This is what we prepared for. Initiative Dawn begins now. Across the Alliance fleet, quantum sensitives joined their consciousness into a single unified field. Humans, who had first discovered these abilities, guided the others in creating something unprecedented. A quantum shield large enough to encompass entire star systems. Lucy Parker led the Earth contingent, their minds merging with thousands of others. Together, she projected through the network. Feel the connection. We're not just stopping them. We're healing the damage they've done to the fabric of space itself. The Imperial weapon struck the shield with unimaginable force. Space warped and twisted, but the combined consciousness of the Alliance held firm. What the Empire never understood was that their technology had always been meant to unite, not destroy. In their desperation, the Imperial leaders had overlooked one crucial detail. By pushing their quantum cores to the limit, they had inadvertently broken their own mental blocks. Across their fleet, soldiers and crews suddenly awakened to their suppressed abilities. Commander John White felt it first, a wave of confusion and revelation spreading through the Imperial forces. "They're awakening," he reported. "Their own weapon backfired. They're breaking free." The Empire's carefully maintained control collapsed in minutes. Ships stopped firing. Commands went unheeded. The quantum network that had started on Earth now reached even the most dedicated Imperial worlds, breaking centuries of conditioning. Dr. Miller, monitoring from Earth, watched in amazement as the quantum field shifted. "It's not just a victory," he reported to the Alliance Council. "It's a transformation. The Empire's last action became the key to freeing their own people." The fighting ended not with a surrender, but with an awakening. Imperial crews, their consciousness finally unshackled, joined the very network they had fought to destroy. The knowledge and secrets the Empire had hoarded for millennia flowed freely through the quantum link. Ambassador Lee stood before the assembled representatives of now truly united galaxy. The Empire's capital world, once a symbol of oppression, had become the site of a new beginning. "We gather here not as conquerors," Lee declared, "but as equals. Earth's resistance showed us the way. But this victory belongs to all species who dared to imagine something better." The following days saw the birth of a new galactic society. The quantum network, now spanning the entire galaxy, became a foundation for understanding and cooperation between all species. Ancient knowledge, combined with new discoveries, opened possibilities that even the Empire had never imagined. Private Russell, who had been among the first to discover human quantum abilities, walked through the transformed Imperial Palace with alien colleagues who had once been enemies. "The funny thing is," he mused, "they spent centuries trying to prevent this, when it was the natural order all along." The Empire's quantum cores, redesigned with the combined knowledge of all species, became centers of learning and growth. The very technology that had been used to oppress now served to enlighten. Earth, where it all began, remained special but no longer unique. Humans had shown the way, but every species now contributed to the galaxy's evolution. The quantum consciousness that humanity had awakened had become the birthright of all. Dr. Miller's final report to the new Galactic Council summed it up best. "The Empire saw the quantum realm as a tool for control. We discovered it was actually the universe's way of bringing all consciousness together. In trying to stop us, they only proved why we needed to succeed." The galaxy had changed forever. The age of empires was over. The age of unity had begun. The end.